we've seen pictures of a flood just happened with loads of useless wet sandbags lying on people's doorsteps. They really only filter the water, and there's so much more that can be done in the 21st century to prevent water from getting through doors. Now, this is one of the products that's available on the market, and Sarah, if you could tell us about it, that would be great.
Yes, I will. This product is called Flood Defender Barrier. It comes in many different sizes, up to a maximum height of 1 metre. They do say that you don't want to go any higher than that because the structural pressure on the building can be immense, anything over 1 metre high. We can make it as small as you want for cat flap barriers. You always like think about pets, and low-level letter boxes, anything which is going to be at risk at a fairly low level. We have different fixing systems available for this, because we all know that no doors are the same. We come across different circumstances where you might have a protruding hinge or a protruding step, but we have different fixing systems which will actually either fix into rails in some cases, or in many cases the most popular type of fixing system is what's called our invisible fixing system, which goes directly into either the frame, whether it's UPVC or wood, or indeed into the brickwork of the house itself.
Can you tell us about that? Because a lot of people have told me they don't want to buy flood doors because they're highlighting their house at risk of flooding, and they don't want to do that. They feel very sensitive of the fact that they've always got something visible that highlights their house at risk of flooding. How can you make this sort of not visible when the house is not in flood?
Well, let me just show you an example of, if this were to be a door frame, what I can do here is I can actually show you how almost invisible the actual fixing system is. And I don't know if you can sort of do a close-up on this, and you can actually see that we've got a small aperture here which is no more than 12 millimetres wide. Now, the way that we actually fix these barriers into place is that they're very, very carefully measured, and what we do is the barrier is basically offered up to the frame, and then we just have a very, very simple screw term which we use a small tool for, which is left with the householder. And they would have a number of these in different places within the house so that they don't lose them. And we found that people like English Heritage and the listed building authorities within local authorities like this, because the property doesn't then scream flood where you've got a large frame on the outside. The other important aspect of not having a frame is the fact that you can get disabled access fairly easily. If you have some frames, they might have a lower channel which would actually impede wheelchair access. So it's really important to consider what the client is after, also to actually think about the aesthetics of the property itself. People do not want to have big frames all over their property. They don't want to be reminded of the fact that they're either at risk of flooding, or indeed where they have flooded, they don't want to be constantly reminded of this fact.
We've also got to be fair here in saying there are other products available on the market, but my advice is always to check that it's got a BSI kite mark, because obviously that's been tested rigorously and it has a government seal of approval, and it's essential when you're buying something like this that you do get something that you know has been tried and tested like this.